Okay, so continuing with this lesson towards green energy, we will now talk about, after you understood the main background saying that why energy is needed, what is the trend of energy usage over the period of years, right? Now we should know that the being the most common requirement when it comes to energy is electricity. Okay, so what is the way in which electricity is generated and where it is generated? Okay, so this is basically a bit of a physics now. See, in physics part, you must have learned about magnetic effect of electric current. If I'm not wrong, it is Oersted's law. Yes. Have you
Sir,
learned?
that lesson was not started yet.
Okay, fine. See, it will be there in detail, that will be taught in science 1. But for now, from this lesson point of view, we will understand something. You know something called as a magnet, a very common thing. Correct? Magnet is something which is that phenomenon of magnetism, what you say, is a very natural occurrence. It's a natural phenomenon. Okay, there are some substances on the earth which has got these magnetic properties. Okay, and because of which it is able to attract some substances towards itself, right? So if you take now this common magnet, you can focus on this diagram on the left side. Okay, if you take this type of a magnet, magnets are available in many shapes. The most common one is a bar magnet. Okay, a magnet, you know very well, has got two poles. That's a north pole and a south pole. Okay, so this dotted lines which you can see, these dotted lines represent the magnetic field. Every magnet, according to its size and according to the level of magnetism, it will have its own magnetic field. You must have heard about this term, magnetic field, right? So if
Yes,
within that
yes.
magnetic field, if you bring some substance which has got a magnetic property, it will get attracted to the magnet. And magnetism is always the maximum in the poles. Okay, so if you bring a substance outside the magnetic field, it will have no effect on it. Okay, so this magnetic field is there. So what the principle is that if you bring a conductor, okay, you are combining two things, magnetism and electricity. Okay, any substance, basically the most common electrical conductor that we use is copper. All the wirings that we have in our home has got what? Copper. Correct? So that copper wire, when it is brought within a magnetic field, okay, इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं circuit. When there is a proper complete direction or a pathway which is made. Okay, so that circuit which forms a coil is brought within the magnetic field of a magnet. So either you rotate the magnet or you rotate the conductor. It is observed that in that conductor there is some voltage generated and there is a current that passes. Okay, that current passes through the conductor if you are rotating that within a magnetic field. That's why you can see there is a rotating shaft which moves the magnet. Okay, so in a rotating magnetic field you are moving a conductor, so there is a current generated. So here we are talking about what? Electricity generation. So when we are talking about electricity generation, we want current to pass through this conductor on a larger scale. So if we can use this principle is known as electromagnetic induction. Okay, in the presence of a magnetic field, you are inducing electricity. इसलिए उसको electromagnetic induction बोलते हैं. So when this electromagnetic induction is there in a conductor, you are getting electricity. So what we want ultimately, we should make some kind of an instrument or a device where there will be an electrical generator like this. A copper wire will keep on coiling around it, and there are magnets. See the diagram in the center. It's the same diagram from your textbook, I suppose. Right? So here, if you notice, you can see there are magnets. And inside the magnet, you can see a coiled copper wire. Okay,
Yes.
so magnet is there having its own magnetic field, and the coiled copper wire is within the magnetic field. So when the coiled copper wire is rotated, there is electricity generated. Understood this part? Okay, so ultimately what we want is electricity. Now the requirement is we want something that will keep on rotating this copper wire. So there has to be some other source of energy which will make it which will ensure that the copper wire rotates in a certain direction so that electricity generated. For that we have a turbine. This is called as a steam turbine. Okay, you know very well water is the only substance or compound on the earth which can exist in all three states: solid, liquid, gas.
Yes.
Correct. So when the water evaporates, so its vaporized form is nothing but steam. And steam is observed to have a property of rotating or physically pushing something. So basically what we do for a steam turbine, that we make the arrangement in such a way that where water is heated or boiled on one side, there is steam generated. That steam moves the turbine. That turbine is nothing but this coil. So because of the steam, the coil moves, there is electricity generated. That's the principle. Everybody understood this? Be on the video, everyone. Ishika, are you understanding this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Shivganga, समझ रहा अच्छे से?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ठीक है? So we have used the principle of electromagnetic induction in an electric generator and we have produced a turbine. So any other source of energy is ultimately moving a turbine, because of which there is electricity produced. This is the basic principle of any power plant, from where you are able to get electricity. Okay, so we have understood the basic principle. Let's talk about different types of power plants. So the first one that we have to see is something called thermal energy based power plant. Okay, now when you say the word thermal, yeah, therma, it means heat. Okay, so here the most important point is when you talk about thermal energy power plant, it is burning of coal. All of you must be aware about what is a coal. Koila, correct? They are found in various places on the earth. Some places have lots of coal deposits found, and they are very old substances, fossils, which we use as fuel. So there are 4 types of coal, that is peat, lignite, bituminous, anthracite. So when coal is burnt, okay, it can be just burning like this. When this coal is burned, there is a lot of heat generated, and that heat is used to boil the water, produce the steam, move the turbine, generate electricity in a generator. That's the conversion principle. I'll show that again. Okay, but it is one of the major fossil fuels in India. So when you say thermal energy based power plant, remember the source of energy is combustion of coal. Okay, and remember the 4 types. Out of all these 4 types, the maximum preferred type of coal used is anthracite. This one. Okay, they all have different percentages of carbon content in it. So anthracite is the most preferred one. Okay, so see this. In India, okay, we have geography. You must have learned about natural resources and mineral wealth in different parts of India. So you know very well, in India, in the Jharkhand region, Bihar, Jharkhand side, Orissa, Chhattisgarh side, there is something called Chota Nagpur Plateau. Suna hai?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
There is a town in Jharkhand called Dhanbad. This place is known as the coal capital of our country. In that place, as you can see over here, there are lots and lots of vast deposits of coal throughout. वहाँ जमीन में ही पूरा कोयला गड़ा हुआ. You can see that. Okay, like I happened to visit all these places during my PhD. Okay, some of my sample collection work and all had happened in the coal mines of Jharkhand. So वहाँ जा चुका हूँ, I have seen literally. Okay, like how the coal keeps on burning over there, and there are huge rocks of coal which are found. That's why it is called as the coal capital of our country, the Dhanbad region of Chota Nagpur Plateau. Okay, so see the principle, like in a thermal power plant. Again, this is from your textbook. Okay, observe the picture carefully and see how it works. A thermal power plant. Okay, pay attention to the diagram, everyone. See, what is the basic point? First thing, you can see there is a you can say a combustion gas. Observe this here, everyone. Okay, there is a boiler. Okay, so coal is burnt. That coal, when it burns, there is a lot of heat generated. Okay, that heat is used to boil water in this boiler. So when the water boils over here, there is steam generated. That steam is used to move the turbine. You can see the labeling. That steam is used to move the turbine, because of which what will happen, the generator will produce the electricity. Correct, but the water has boiled, it has to be cooled, so there is a condenser. Okay, the condenser will cool the water and recycle it. So that happens in the cooling tower. And because of this combustion, there is a lot of gases which are released, which has to be moved out. That takes place through this combustion gases. Sorry. Okay, a lot of gases are released over here, which is released through this chimney. So there are tall towers from where lots of gases are given out. And from this cooling tower also, there is a lot of heat that is given out. And this labeled as pump. Those pumps are the ones which are used to circulate the water. कि यहाँ पे पानी जो गर्म किया है, उस पानी को कंडेंसर से पास करके ठंडा करके again brought it back over here. That's how this principle works. Did you understand this, everybody? So see the energy conversion over here. There is chemical energy in the coal. That chemical energy, when it is heated, it gets converted to thermal energy. Okay, that thermal energy, okay, it gets converted to kinetic energy in the steam. Kinetic and potential energy are two forms of mechanical energy. So when any object is in motion, it has to have kinetic energy in it. So steam moves up, that's why it is kinetic energy. And that kinetic energy of the steam is passed on to the turbine, which is then converted to electrical energy. So from chemical energy to thermal energy to kinetic energy to electrical energy, one form getting converted to another. That's what happens in this thermal power plant. Getting it? See the diagrammatic representation. There is fuel coal, which is in the boiler. When it is burnt, the conversion of water to steam takes place. The steam moves the turbine. Generator produces electricity. Electricity is given out. And from that, the water is recycled back using condenser so that it can be reused in the boiler for boiling, because water is only boiled and converted to steam. There is no chemical change in the water. So the same water can be cooled and again boiled and used. That is what happens in a thermal energy power plant. Is the diagram clear? Is the energy conversion clear properly? Okay, so this kind of flowchart representation can be asked in the exam. Okay, like this kind of flowchart will be told, 1 or 2 fill in the blanks in between. So you should know which comes after which one. That is very important. Any doubt in this? Okay. So this is the basic principle and the working of a thermal energy power plant. Let us take a look at some examples in India where you find this kind of thermal power plants and how much is the electricity output. Okay. See this. There are lots of thermal power plants in our country. Some of the major ones are shown in this map. Okay, the nearest one from Mumbai, you can see there is one in Nashik. Then you have lots of it in the north. Okay, and lots of it in this region. If Jharkhand, Bihar region hai, this is the Chota Nagpur plateau. This region has got lots of power plants, and you also have lots of it in the Delhi region. So you can refer to this map and you can remember some of the examples. Okay, this is about the thermal power plants in India. Fine, you can see some examples. Here they go. This one is the Vindhyachal power plant in Madhya Pradesh. You have to remember the names and the location with the output. This one produces 4,760 megawatts. MW stands for megawatts. That's the amount of electricity generated. Getting it? Vindhyachal in Madhya Pradesh, 4760 megawatts. Similarly, you have Sasan Ultra Mega in Madhya Pradesh, 3960 megawatts. Okay. Then the other one that you have is Mundra in Gujarat. It is 4620 megawatts. You can see how big power plants are there. Observe that in the picture. Can you see the chimneys and all? Now you understand what must be there in each chamber and all. Diagrammatically, you have seen them. Understanding this, everyone? Okay. You have the Mundra Ultra Mega again in Gujarat, 4000 megawatts. Okay. Then you have Tamnar. Okay. CG stands for Chhattisgarh. Tamnar in Chhattisgarh, that is around 3400 megawatts. Can you see the huge tall chimneys? Imagine the level of gases that must be released in the air. Correct. Ye hai Chandrapur in Maharashtra, Vidarbha region, 3340 megawatts. Okay, you can see tall chimneys. Whenever if you are traveling also to some other places, you must have come across this kind of factories, this kind of power plants. In the future also, if you come across, now you know what is it. Correct. Then ye dekho. This is Talcher. See the amount of gas being released. Talcher in Orissa. Odisha is the name now. Okay, that is 3000 megawatts. Okay, ye hai Rihan, Sonebhadra in Uttar Pradesh. That is again 3000 megawatts. Okay, ye dekho. This is Sipat in Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, 2980 megawatts. Okay, and this one is NTPC, Dadri in Uttar Pradesh, 2637 megawatts. See the amount of gases being released. But this is where you get your electricity from most of the time. So at home or in your daily life, when you are using electricity, do you think you're supposed to waste it? Like if you are not using any room, the simplest thing that you can do, put off the lights and fans, avoid using any electrical appliances when not needed. That's the least you can do. Because for whatever you're doing in your daily life, see the amount of environmental impact that is happening. Getting it? Okay. Like if you are given a choice between a ceiling fan and an AC, which one shall you prefer?
Ceiling fans.
Yes. Because AC is a good option when there is no ventilation. But if the ventilation is good, you don't need AC also. And for AC, you must have noticed, like if you have an AC, the internal temperature of the room becomes very good, comfortable, cozy, nice, cool. But the same amount of heat is thrown outside. जो AC का exhaust होता है बाहर. If you stand outside, you will feel how much amount of hot air is thrown out. So when lots of people, they keep on using AC too much, there is so much of hot air given out. That is one reason why the global warming is happening. Getting it? Because the temperature of the earth is increasing. That is the impact. So that's why wherever possible, a natural cooling is always the best option. It's always the best option. It's not just about electricity usage, it's about the environmental impact also. And whenever you're using AC also, it's not advisable to keep it to temperature say 16 degree, 15 degree and all. Okay, people keep like very low temperatures at home and they enjoy the comfort. But imagine what happens to the outside. The lower the temperature you keep here, the more is the hot air given out. Okay, so the best advisable temperature is around 25 degree or something, normal room temperature. Agar AC use karna ho. Okay, so all this should be carefully handled. So when you talk about thermal power plants, see the environmental concerns. See this. Can you imagine? That's the air ultimately which you are breathing. Correct? And what is the second picture showing you? This one. What do you think is there in this picture? It's a tree bark, right? So on the bark of
Yes.
a tree, can you see the black colored material deposited? That's called as soot,
Yes.
which mainly contains carbon particles. One of the sources is this one. Getting it? So you are using electricity at your home. On one side, indirectly, this is what is happening. Getting it? So because of thermal power plants, in which there is combustion of the coal taking place, there is a release of lots of harmful gases. Carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, which are released in the air. Okay, we all know very well the debate is endless when you start speaking about air pollution. How much it is increasing these days and how much it is impacting or affecting the health of human beings also. Getting it? Right? And soot particles, they also cause serious respiratory problems because that is what you inhale. It enters and gets deposited in your lungs. Respiratory disorders happen. Bronchitis, okay, pulmonary bronchitis, so many things happen. And that's a very dangerous thing. And the other thing is that from other viewpoint, if you see, whatever coal, thermal power plants are ultimately using coal. So in the entire earth, taking into account all the coal mines that we have, if all the coal is taken out and it is like used up, it is going to last. If the current rate of use will proceed like this, another 500 to 600 years. After which no coal will be available at all. But the rate at which we are using is just increasing like anything, drastically. So that has to stop because ultimately it is having a major impact on the environment also. That cannot continue for the next 500 years. So it is your generation and the next generation, after which it is very, very difficult to survive. Okay, you can see all types of health impacts. Getting it? So economy is important, development is necessary. But if the health itself is not there, what economy and what development will happen? Agree with this, everyone? Right? So
Yes.
understood about thermal power plant properly?
Yes.
Okay. And with respect to the working, with respect to the physics and chemistry behind it, and we also saw the environmental concern behind that. That was about thermal power plant. Okay. So in the exam, they can ask you questions like different thermal power plants in India, their electricity output, the working and the energy conversion, and the plus points and minus points. Okay, that way you have to understand.